12 horrific flash floods that shocked the entire world. Have you ever been caught in a flood or seen downed trees, flooded streets, and swept away homes? Well, if not, this video is for you. Stay with the video as we see rivers swell and huge walls of water crash down on communities. Here are 12 terrifying examples of flash floods that will have you clutching your breath. Flash floods are extremely dangerous and unpredictable, and when they flow over a bridge, the situation is adversely affected. A flash flood can produce a large volume of water in a short period of time, overwhelming natural drainage systems and causing the water to surge swiftly. Water may begin to flow over the bridge deck as the water level rises. The water is traveling rapidly along with so much debris and mud. It can generate a turbulent flow, trapping trash and other objects like trees and big stones against the bridge piers or abutments. As you can see in the video, there is a sudden and severe accumulation of water in a river. All the boat is trapped in a flash flood. The enormous force of the water shakes it or possibly capsizes it. The boat is swept downstream and thrown against impediments like rocks or trees, causing damage to the boat and potentially injuring persons on board. Furthermore, the quickly rising water level can cause dangerous currents and waves, making navigation and control difficult. And if, by accident, you are aboard a boat and are trapped in a flash flood, be cool, attempt to direct the boat away from impediments, and look for high ground or a safe place to anchor until the flood subsides. Flash floods are extremely powerful and devastating natural disasters that can transport a broad variety of debris, including stones. The flood in the video quickly picks up pebbles and boulders from the surrounding area and transports them downstream with enormous energy. Flash floods can bring material other than boulders, such as branches, trees, and even vehicles. The water's speed and ferocity can inflict extensive damage to buildings, roads, and other objects in its path. Those who are standing there can hear the heavy flow and can be heard screaming as if they had never witnessed anything as horrific as this before. This surplus water has the potential to overrun rivers and streams, swamp drainage systems, and inundate low-lying areas, including residential districts. The video of flash floods shows water entering the residence through open doors and windows and smashing windows and doors, allowing the water to flood the house. Water also seeps through cracks and holes in the foundation which are not properly sealed or secured, flooding the basement or lower levels of the home. And it's crucial to remember that flash floods can happen quickly and without notice, making it difficult for homeowners to prepare and protect their properties. If you live in a region prone to flash floods, it's critical to take proactive measures to protect your house, such as erecting flood barriers or using sandbags to restrict water flow and keeping your insurance coverage up to date. The rush of the water is extraordinarily powerful and has the potential to wipe away everything in its path, including cars and people. Because the flood was just out of anyone's control, the majority of the vehicles become bogged down in it. These kinds of quick floods can also cause soil erosion and landslides, both of which can worsen the effects of the flooding itself. In addition to causing immediate devastation, flash floods can have long-term consequences for the ecosystem and the surrounding people. Flash floods, for example, can contaminate water supplies, raise the risk of disease outbreaks, and harm crops and other agricultural resources. Can you see how the water is approaching at such a rapid pace, taking everything with it as it goes? The sluggish flow of muck is so powerful that even the pillars and supports of the road are unable to withstand it. If there is a considerable amount of mud and debris falling from the sky, it would appear that the downpour is coming from a mountain in the region. It is pretty obvious how the road became blocked, and for the following few hours there was absolutely nothing that could be done to fix the problem. Others, who are higher up, are looking down at the scene and talking about how scary the water is, and with just one mistake, everything will be swept away. One unfortunate day, the water broke through the barrier and engulfed the city, bringing a tidal wave of destruction with it. The city was completely submerged. The city was no match for the unrelenting fury of the flood, which washed away everything in its path and destroyed all it came in contact with. There were many people who tried to escape, but the water was too swift and powerful. It swept them away like bugs, leaving a wake of destruction. The flood continued to rise and destroyed everything in its way, including the big building. The once bustling city was turned into ruins in an instant, as if a huge hand had wiped it away in a rage. The bridge shown in the video was once towering as a symbol of strength and perseverance for years, but now it is hit by a roaring flood so powerful that it pushed the entire bridge with it as its surge arrived. The waves increased in height with every passing second. Many gathered on the riverbanks as the continuous floodwaters aggressively pushed and pulled the bridge. They held their breath and prayed that the once resilient structure would withstand the immense pressure. Nevertheless, it was not meant to be. Moments later, the entire bridge was carried away by the raging river, and the people watched in dismay as the water carried away a once representative of their strength. The clip shows a heavy flood disaster which is often muddy due to soil erosion induced by the high water flow rate. This muddy water can be dangerous since it may contain debris, boulders, and other things that might endanger people and animals caught in the flood. When a major flood disaster strikes, it is critical to act quickly to guarantee public safety. Individuals should leave vulnerable regions as soon as possible and seek higher ground. Ultimately, a severe flood disaster can be devastating, but with good planning, preparedness, and response, communities can reduce damage and recover faster. The video shows how fast the steam is moving through the channel, and the people are standing there taking in the scene, enjoying it until the debris begins to overflow, at which point people begin to run. Large quantities of sediment and debris can enter the channel as a result of erosion or landslides, which can cause the channel to become clogged and cause it to overflow. The muck and debris overrun a channel and cause substantial harm to the area around it. This includes floods, erosion, and the destruction of both property and infrastructure. Also, it has the potential to endanger human life, particularly in situations when humans are caught in the route of an overflow. Flash floods are quick and typically violent floods that can occur minutes or hours after heavy rainfall. The flood in the video appears to be exceedingly hazardous, and individuals who are trapped in a flash flood run the risk of being carried away by the force of the water very quickly. Yet there are some people who, without thinking about unsafe levels, make the bridge unstable by crossing it while it is flooded. Thus, it is essential to constantly heed warnings and avoid crossing over bridges during heavy rains or flash flood warnings. If you ever happen to be caught in a flash flood, you should get to higher ground and stay away from bridges or other structures that could be unstable or dangerous. Is this even real? The entire scene appears to be deadly. The flood water smashed through the banks and swept into town, destroying everything in their path. It is extremely hard to watch such a disaster wash everything away as if it were nothing. Those unfortunate enough to be in the line of the flood had no choice but to plead for a miracle to save them from the horrific force of the water. Traveling was virtually impossible on certain roads, while others were completely submerged in water. Unfortunately, the flooding caused the deaths of numerous people and left a great number of others trapped and in need of rescue. The video for today has ended, but stay tuned for more in the near future. Please show your appreciation for the information in the meanwhile by clicking the like button and subscribing to our channel.